Hey David,
Good morning, Raj.
good morning. You have a
Can you
nice
hear
view
me?
behind you.
It's it's rainy back there. Sorry for the
Yeah.
glare and all.
Oh no, you're fine.
Showed up at the coffee shop and they changed the Wi-Fi password on me 15 minutes after I got here.
Perfect timing.
Thanks, folks.
Hey everyone.
Morning, Adrian. Busy morning or busy afternoon for you, right?
Afternoon, yeah. 4 p.m.
How's
Morning.
the how's the
Morning.
incident? Morning.
I think we can start, right? I believe Matt will not join us.
Yeah, he's out today.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's look at the agenda. Okay, only me. I'll start. Yeah, I wanted to maybe discuss one point around the Log Explorer issues. There are multiple issues happening at the same time, and it's really hard to understand where we stand. So there is a vision issue, which uh, which Adrian you created. There is a Log Explorer issue. There is a filtering issue, and there is an epic. Now that's good. I mean, I've read all of them, but I'm trying to consolidate everything into a single one. So what I'm proposing is that I think we are done with the discussion. I think that we agreed that we are going to work on the existing terminal view for the Log Explorer and add those capabilities to that view. Okay, there is an ongoing thread about whether we should use the new design or continue working on the terminal view. And I think, Adrian, you pointed out that it will save us a lot of time if we continue to work on the terminal view while still using logs from Elasticsearch. So I fully understand that, and I think that this is the right approach for now. I don't see any challenges that we may face in the coming future. Correct me if I'm wrong. And therefore, I think that the right way for us to continue is to work on the terminal view. So as we're done with that, and we can start continue working on enhancing this view, for instance, adding filters, creating a search bar, refreshing the page, and more. So in order for me to understand where we stand, and I really don't want to interfere with the work, I just want to make sure we are working on the right priorities. I've closed all the issues, okay? The discussions are important. And I've opened a meta issue where all we need to do is just to check box once we are done with one of the tasks. And if we need to add more tasks, we can add more tasks. I don't want to stop any work that is being done because of any process. So I want to understand, Adrian, if Adrian, if that's okay with you, because I think you're doing the heavy lifting there. So I just want to make sure we can continue with that approach.
Sure, that's totally fine. I agree that there was too many discussions going around. It's fine to have one single issue, and then we can link to that when opening MRs. So yeah, that's totally fine with me.
Cool. Okay. So once we are done with that issue, with every MR, you can just checkbox and say, okay, mark done. And if we need to open a separate issue, I'll be more than happy to do that. We already, I think Emilia did one for the time picker. So if you think that there should be a discussion, maybe you should add a comment, let's open an issue and let's have this discussion on that issue. So we'll keep this meta issue just to track the progress of this project. Okay.
Okay, so you're saying don't use the meta issue to discuss things, just use it as a tracker checklist.
Yeah, as a tracker and checklist. And if we need to open issue, let's just put a comment, let's open an issue. And I'll open an issue, I'll put the link in the description, and let's have this conversation in the issue, because those description tend to, multiple conversation happening, and I want to make sure that this meta issue only track the progress of what we are doing.
Sure.
Thanks. I know it's a big project, so I'm trying to put some order here. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to bring to the attention of the team is, and I'll go ahead and share. We've been working. I know that up until today we are working based on category. We are taking the metrics and we want to make it to a maturity level, and we take login and we take tracing. We are starting to experiment on something else, which we call the user journey, or the user of the workflow. And if we look at our monitoring vision page, you will see that we have listed 5 different user journeys. We call them user flow. It's instrument, triage, improve, resolve, and alerting. Okay, and the reason I'm telling you all of that is that there is a special interest of the triage workflow. Okay, and in this epic, I've kind of tried to explain what triage mean for us. So for us, triage mean, and as I mentioned in this background, this is the entire process of detecting and identifying a problem in your application. Okay, in some, I mean, if you look through how the industry define triage, so triage is just to assign the right person to the problem. So here in triage, we kind of club together the triage and the root cause analysis. Okay, in some cases, there is a triage workflow and root cause analysis. The reason I'm explaining you all of that is that we would like to take this end-to-end flow of triage and see what we need to do in order to bring it to mature it to a minimal level. So yes, we are still working on category basis, and we will still work on that. But in the coming future, probably in the next iteration, we will start to think about how can we take this flow, and I'll go over this flow, and understand what we need to do on our product in order to make sure that we'll have a streamlined experience for our users to complete this triage flow. And this is like the minimal things that the user needs to do. Now, it's actually originated from a discussion that we had with Sid, and I've linked that also in the agenda. And the discussion was revolved around, okay, how do we start the flow and what the users needs to do? So if we look at Datadog, or if we look at any other companies that are in this space, we can see that most of the time the triage flow starts with an alert. And in that alert, from that alert, you immediately can go to the right view and start to do the troubleshooting on the root cause analysis, going from one view to another. So we simplify the workflow that we start with an alert, and the alert will open an incident. And when the user will receive and open the incident, he will be able to see a chart with the metric and the threshold that was crossed. And from that chart, you should be able to drill into the Log Explorer. And from there, we should have some sort of a link toward traces. So the user will be able to see which request caused that problem and what is the user impact for the user experience impact. So this is the flow. It's pretty. We kept it pretty minimal. And if we look at the epic, and the epic explained the user journey. So first of all, as I mentioned, we need to get a notification. Then we need to look at the view of the metric chart in the incident itself, and then to drill down to the log explorer to preserve the same context. Basically, we need to make sure that we are, when we drill down to the log explorer directly from the incident, we should be able to see the same time frame. So we should keep the same time frame as the time that the incident was open and the alert was triggered. And from the log explorer to drill into traces. And basically, what I'm trying to explain here is that we've broken it down into epics and issues. And this will be one of our main focus, probably toward the next iteration. Now, this team main focus is already highly invested in this triaging flow, so I don't expect any drastic changes to our coming roadmap. Log Explorer is something that we are working on. The drill down is also something that is on the roadmap. But if you will go over this workflow, try to identify if there are any gaps that you think are missing. I think that we kind of keep it minimal, and most of the things are things that we are working on or probably start working on in the next iteration. But take your time, go over it, and raise any comment in the thread here.
Yeah, I think you captured it good in the in number 3 there about needing to capture the context, make sure the same context. That's one thing I think we need to, and we can iterate on it in the comments about making sure that as we have an incident, a metric that creates an incident, that we look through the log explorer and the traces to make sure that we can carry the context of which machine, which time frame, which whatever through that. I think that we've got a unique ability to integrate since we've got all that information. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I mean, this is one experiment that we are doing, and if we see that it is successful and we'll get more feedback from our users, we will both enhance this flow and work on multiple workflows to tackle the triage flow, because we start with only one alert, go to one view and then another view. Maybe there are other ways for users to do triaging. So there is also a research issue that I'm going to interview customers and see what are their typical triage flow. And also maybe we'll take it to like different workflows, not only triage, maybe instrumentation as well, alerting, and so on and so forth. Okay. Sounds good. I think there are any other items in the agenda, right? So I think we can cut this meeting short. I know that most of you are probably on their way for the Thanksgiving holiday. So I will wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time off with your family. For those that are going away, I'm staying here. So if you need me, you can reach out. And
I may reach out to you. I may reach out to you, Dub. I've already had too much Thanksgiving already.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, thanks for joining. Enjoy Thanksgiving. And bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, everyone.